Tara Pettit explains.
Death row. On average, inmates spend 15 years there before they are executed. Much of that time is spent appealing their sentences.
Talked to each person that I was responsible for executing. I went down on my own time and talked to them and made sure that they were spiritually ready to go.
Former State Corrections Director John Osment says in the 8 years he was on the job, 15 of his inmates were put to death. 2 of those were in the electric chair.
I said, I got to ask you. He said, I know what you're going to ask, Mr. Osment. And I said, well, why? He said, 2 reasons. 1, I deserve it. I killed 2 people. And 2, I just want y'all to know I can take it.
South Carolina is one of 14 states where an inmate can choose how they are put to death. Inmates on death row can choose one of 2 methods to end their life: lethal injection and the electric chair. It's one of 4 states that still uses that method. Lethal injection is the primary execution method used in all 33 death penalty states. But death by firing squad, an execution method now legal in 4 states, could soon be an option in South Carolina.
A firing squad would be the most humane way of executing somebody's life.
State Representative Joshua Putnam introduced a bill last month that would bring back the firing squad as a 3rd option in South Carolina. He's been hammered by critics that say it's inhumane.
That would be ridiculous for the state of South Carolina to start with the firing squad.
No Supreme Court has ever found it to be cruel and unusual.
Putnam is pushing the firing squad option because South Carolina's supply of lethal injection drugs has run dry. Supplies ran out in 2013. Multiple states are facing the same situation, essentially taking the death penalty off the table.
My limited discussions with directors across the country is that there are no supplies left to be had.
If you elect lethal injection, you know you're not going to be put to death.
Manufacturers are no longer selling it to states, and pharmaceutical companies are not required to sell states the necessary drugs.
Where the drugs have been administered wrong in other states, and you have excruciating pain for that individual that's sentenced to death.
Which is why Representative Putnam says if he had to choose a method for himself, he would choose death by firing squad.
There's not really much of a way to mess up a firing squad.
Utah recently became the 4th state to make firing squads an execution option.
These are heinous crimes. These are the most nasty, the most evil people of our society.
And I've talked to men as they've gone to their death who would look at you in the eye and tell you I deserve the death penalty for what I did.
No one has been executed in the state of South Carolina since 2011. That sentence was carried out by lethal injection. With that no longer being an option for the foreseeable future, state lawmakers continue to search for other options. Osment says the state Supreme Court will not issue an execution warrant while there's still uncertainty about how it can be carried out. Meanwhile, death sentences are rapidly declining as the cost of capital punishment cases dramatically increases, costing the state millions for a sentence that may never happen.
So I don't want to see those people, those horrible people out there that just get a pass because we can't figure out another solution.
It's not likely lawmakers will get to debate the death penalty issue before this legislative session ends, but House representatives say it's an important discussion that needs to happen when the next session starts in January. In the studio, Tara Pettit, WACH Fox News.